has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Yeah, and I don't want to beleaguer the point, but there's no way they're getting and going with Aaron Rodgers, okay? I've been hearing that they're going to get Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers, and Tomlin to the Jets for a first rounder. That's not happening either. That's another Pittsburgh radio. Let's throw the noodle against the fridge and see if it sticks. Like they do that all day in Pittsburgh. They have these wacko hosts that they'll say anything to see if the noodle sticks. I'm not one of them. By the way, get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver High. And, you know, you can watch the network on your phone, listen to the network on our Sirius stream. It's great. We're on 159, by the way, on Sirius. And you can get in-game odds, stories, videos, highlights. You get it all. And it's free. The app is free. How fantastic is that? The SportsGrid app on iOS and Android. Get it today. By the way, we're streaming on X. Just go to SportsGrid-Live. You can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on a Bench podcast on iTunes every day. C2C is 3 hours. Ferrall on a Bench is like anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes of just everything that's happening in sports that happened and that will happen. And then, obviously, we're excited about next Monday. It's Notre Dame and Ohio State for the national championship. We'll break it all down. Plus, Terry Bowden will be on the show next Monday. I know that's a ways off. But thank God, Saturday and Sunday, we got divisional round NFL playoffs. All right, Carver High, where are we here?
Yeah, just a couple of other things. Of course, the Dallas Cowboy job is now officially open for business after Jerry and Mike McCarthy parted ways yesterday. So that already starts the rumor mill. Who's going to be the Cowboys' next head coach? And, of course, Deion Sanders is one of those names. Now, it was reported that Jerry has reached out to Deion, and Deion confirmed those reports, Scotty. In fact, this is what Deion told Adam Schefter at ESPN on Monday night. Quote, "To hear from Jerry Jones is truly delightful and it's intriguing. I love Jerry and I believe in Jerry. After you hang up and process it and think about it, it's intriguing. But I love Boulder and everything there is about our team, the coaches, our student body, and the community." End quote. See, now he said he loves Boulder, and he loves all those things, but I didn't hear him I didn't see that continue with, "so I'm staying here." Shouldn't he have said, "I love Boulder, I love this, I love that, and I'm staying here"? That's not what he said. He said he loved Boulder, but didn't say he wasn't exactly turning it down either, or that he wasn't thinking about it.
Boulder. I mean, it's a great place. I've been there a million times. I've lived in Colorado. I've skied in Colorado multiple times. I've been there a million times skiing, and it still doesn't matter. It's not the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, if this guy, let's just sum this up. If this guy took that job, if he was afforded that opportunity, he'll become center stage and take over the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys will be the only thing that matters in the NFL, including the Super Bowl champions. If the Chiefs were to win another one and have a dynasty rolling, they won't even matter. They won't even matter. Because Deion Sanders will captivate the NFL audience like no other. He's already done it as a player. When he was a player, he got everything he ever wanted. He was the focal attention of the league. Wherever he played, San Francisco, Dallas, same thing when he played with the Braves, right? And Falcons. He owns whatever he does. He owns college football. He owned it last year. He owned it this year. And he didn't win anything. I mean, let's face facts. He gets the attention no one else gets. If he gets that job, he will take over the Cowboys. People, I heard say today that Jerry Jones will never cede that power. And I believe Deion Sanders will obliterate him with his mouth. He will literally take over the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry will no longer matter at all. He won't even talk. No one will listen because Deion Sanders will take over the NFL, let alone the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see how he can hire anyone else now that it's out of the bag that he's talked to Deion Sanders. Who's he going to hire?
I don't see how he...
Who gives an F?
Right. Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking, and I saw all this too, and people need to understand how the NFL works sometimes. All I saw was, well, Deion's going to be the coach, and they're going to trade up, and they're going to get his kid, and he's going to be Shedeur and Deion and Dallas and all. It doesn't exactly work like that. This isn't fantasy football and fantasy world. The Cowboys would take I believe it's $105 million cap hit if they traded Dak Prescott less than a year after giving him that huge extension. They're not trading Dak Prescott. They're not doing that unless Deion and Jerry have gotten in a room and said, we're going to do this, but we're not going to win for the next 5 years because we're going to be in cap hell and the team's going to suck. You just can't do it. So if Deion does become the coach, which I don't think he's going to. I actually don't. I don't think it'll be Deion. His kid ain't coming with him because Dak's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys after that big fat deal they gave him at the beginning of this season. So those dreams are not going to happen for everybody. I know that they say that, but that's not happening. They're not trading up to the first pick and getting Shedeur Sanders. That's not what is going to happen with the Cowboys this year. So I just saw those dreams and wishes, Scotty, and I wanted to crush them here on Coast to Coast today. Everybody's happy.
Well, what's amazing to me is that literally us and everyone else, all we ever talk about is the Dallas Cowboys. They're not in the playoffs, and we have all these great games this week, yet we're still talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and they suck, like you said. So that is truly disgusting to me.
That's precisely what Jerry wants. And last thing, also of a team that isn't in the playoffs, but they already have their new head coach, and that is the New England Patriots. They have hired Mike Vrabel. And, of course, Bill was only gone for 1 year. So I guess the Gerard Mayo year, things got so off track with the culture and the standard. You talked about standards before for these championship pedigree teams. Well, Mike Vrabel's coming back to New England, and he's bringing the standard back with him, Scotty.
You guys are going to ask me questions about culture, which I'll be happy to talk about and discuss. One thing I've realized about culture is that you can find out what your culture looks like when your family, your business, or your team is at its low point. It's not when you're winning Super Bowls, or it's not when you're 7-1 or 10-1, because then everybody's waving towels and everybody's happy and they're excited to come to work. But when you get hit in the mouth or you're down or the chips are against you, then you can take a snapshot of what your company or your team looks like, and then you'll find out what kind of culture you have. But that culture is going to be built on winning, a competitive spirit throughout our roster, throughout our players, and throughout our coaches and our staff, and the ability to put the team first and care about somebody other than yourself. I'm excited to get to work.
Yeah, listen, I still think they screwed over the black guy for the white guy. Sorry, that's the reality of what happened. I mean, the minute this guy was available, he fired the black guy and hired Vrabel. And then he tried to salt it over by saying, it's my fault. I never gave him a chance. Well, you got that right, old man. You gave him 1 season. I mean, it's embarrassing. Bob Kraft is another guy now, in my opinion, that's lost his mind once he hit like 80. I mean, this guy, he's another one losing his marbles. Him and Jerry. Like, what are you doing? It looks so bad optically, Mike. I don't believe for 1 minute he didn't shaft that brother. And I'll tell you another thing. Everyone else in the NFL that's black thinks the same thing. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. They shafted him for the white guy. That's just all there is to it.
I think that he wanted, if he could have had his chance, he would have hired Vrabel last year.
Well, that's his problem. A little late for that.
He couldn't. Well, he couldn't because he put in the other guy's contract he'd be the coach. And he got an out by the guy being so bad and only winning 3 games all year that he was able to, coat it over, as you say, by saying, it's my fault and I didn't do it. He wanted Vrabel. I think the bigger sham is that they interviewed all these other guys when you knew he was hiring Vrabel. I think that was worse, what they did over the last week. So there you go. Head coaching news in the NFL. We'll start the NBA when we come back. We'll move on to that.
All right. Might as well. I mean, I'm under a lot of strain over here.
talk about it failing. And always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler wants to leave because Jimmy Butler knows that Riles isn't going to pay him, and he wants to get paid. Simply put, if they would have given Jimmy Butler this contract extension in the summer when he asked, this wouldn't be happening. But Riles did it, and Riles wanted him to play. So now he's disgruntled because he wants out.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carver High. We go to the NBA now. We were talking a little pro rack with Coach Young earlier, but that was impressive. We both were on the Pistons last night against the Knicks, and they got it done. The world's most famous.
They certainly did. Not only did they cover, they won the game outright, 124 to 119, 36 points from Cade Cunningham, who is having an unbelievable season. All you got to do is just ask head coach J.B. Bickerstaff. He's extremely excited about what Cunningham's doing.
Right. I mean, think about, one, how many guys are good enough to do that, right? There's a handful of guys out there that have the ability to say that I'm going to do it and then actually go out and get it done. I think we've seen Cade make a step into the era of the elites in this game. I'm hard-pressed to find someone who's doing it better than he's doing it right now, impacting winning in a major way, making his teammates better. And what I'm so impressed with is, like you said, is how he picks his spots and his times, right? Like, we ended that second quarter kind of shaky, and he put us on his back, to help us get settled and then allow everybody else around him to do their thing.
So, a couple things. One, I've been involved in that war between the cable company and MSG, and they're not on the cable anymore. And you said you were getting rid of it. I won't mention names, but I could sit down here in my studio and watch it. I still have it down here. But I got to tell you, seeing him go north-south, coast-to-coast, and dunk on the Knicks with nobody stopping him, nobody getting in his way, nobody fouling him, nobody trying to take a charge, that's all you need to know about that game last night. I don't need to watch a game. To watch that guy go up and down and dunk is untouched, is unbelievable to me. And then how about Toronto? How about Toronto last night at home beating Golden State? They got it done again. All they do is cover. When am I going to learn that they cover?
When are you going to learn that all they do is cover? They win this time 104 to 101. Now, Curry had 26 for the Warriors, but this was great. Darko Rajakovic, we've played him a few times. He's the head coach of the Toronto Raptors. Usually comes out with some pretty good lines. He's going to be very happy. He's been around the league a long time. Before he got this gig in Toronto, an assistant in a lot of different stops. So he's been trying to stop Steph Curry for a while, and he's hoping that day comes sooner rather than later.
Doing my best. Steph Curry is a player that's it's a privilege for all of us to live in an era and to work in this era in NBA when he's playing. I just told my coaching staff, I've been playing against him for a long, long time. I can't wait for him to retire. I'm going to get drunk that night. I promise you that. I'm going to celebrate.
Your boy Darko looking to hit the bottle when Steph finally retires. Can't wait for him to get out of the league. That was good. Good job by Darko. Get him a bottle of red. T-Wolves beat the Wizards 120 to 106. Wasn't that 14 and a half?
They didn't cover.
Wasn't that 14 and a half that game when we did it yesterday?
Yeah.
The Rockets beat the Grizz by 2, 120 to 118. Good game. They did not. The Spurs beat up the Lakers 126 to 102. I mean, your boy Wemby was just today's like Wemby going off out at the crypto on FanDuel Sportsnet Southwest.
Ball and brings it out the last second for the throwdown.
Wembanyama. Oh, it's a dunk contest.
He's just so long.
Whoa.
They kicked their ass. It's weird to me how it turned into the fires. Like the Lakers weren't ready to play last night back at the Crypt because of the fires. I mean, come on. Honestly, like I get it.
Look,
LA's burning to the ground, but then don't play in the league. Shut the league down. If because they have to play games, whether it's in LA or otherwise, they cannot keep canceling games because of this. I don't care what anybody says. Then if you don't like it, then leave the league and stop playing for a month.
You can't. I know it's been a very tough situation, and I know that Redick lost his house in the fire, and his family's been displaced, and all those things.
He was,
the Clippers played last night and they won. The Rams played last night and they won.
Yeah.
I know it's tough for all those people and all those teams in LA, but I didn't hear the teams that won didn't get. I know
on the road, but everyone's doing their thing. You gotta, the pro sports doesn't stop for anything. Maybe one game, that's it.
And the Clippers did beat the Heat 109 to 98. Big night, of course, from James Harden, because why not? It's a regular season game in the middle of January. He had a couple buzzer beaters in this game. This one to end the third quarter on FanDuel Sportsnet West.
Harden, 3 to shoot. Gets around the defense. The floater ahead of the horn. He put it in. 79-68.
Listen, that's great. I know you're going to mention Jimmy Butler. What Coach said was great. Trade him to Portland. I think that's too nice. I think what they should do is trade him to Utah so he can live with all the Mormons. See how he likes that. And I mean it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's you want to screw him some way, shape, or form. Like that's not going to happen.
Trade him to New Orleans. Screw him.
Because those teams aren't going to give up anything. For him, those teams what are they going to do with a malcontent Jimmy Butler for the last 3 months of the season? They're not going to get anything out of that.
Like the Rockets would win a title with him.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not going to go that far. I love Coach. I don't think that the Rockets are the best team in the West if they get Jimmy Butler.
He isn't. I don't think he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him, period, at this point. I think that if you look around, and I know he's done this in past spots and then still showed up in Miami, had some good years, I'm off it. I'm going to stay away if I was any of these teams. The guys in Golden State, they all said no. Curry and Draymond, that whole crew, they said no, we don't want him. So that's just kind of how it goes down for him. But he had the big face-to-face with Pat and said that he still wants to be traded. Well, good for you. We'll come back. And I will give you all the games for tonight, including Cleveland playing Indiana again. Remember, they lost to them the other night. We'll give you that. Denver, Dallas, Brooklyn's out west in Portland. We'll give you all the numbers for tonight's game.
The Pacers have won 6 in a row. They're at home, and they're getting 8. I don't care if Halliburton's playing or if Jesus is playing. They're playing really good ball right now. I think it's too many points.
talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl, but it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler wants to leave because Jimmy Butler knows that Riles isn't going to pay him, and he wants to get paid. Simply put, if they would have given Jimmy Butler this contract extension in the summer when he asked, this wouldn't be happening. But Riles did it, and Riles wanted him to play. So now he's disgruntled because he wants out.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, so we're going to hit these games tonight in the NBA, Carver High?
That is precisely what we're going to do. We mentioned the Cavs and the Pacers. Of course, Pacers beat them the other night in Cleveland. There is no Halliburton tonight. He is out for the Pacers. So that I just saw come across my desk. Cleveland minus 8.5 in Indy. 231.5 is the total. As you mentioned, the Pacers have been hot. They're looking for 7 in a row.
Yeah, listen, I don't care if he's out. Every night you and I go through this. They have multiple guys out, star players every night on every team, and they still go out and win and still go out and cover. I think Nebhard, Siakam, Turner, and company can still cover this number at the Fieldhouse in Indy, particularly the way they've been playing. They've won 6 in a row. They just beat them in Cleveland. Obviously, I know Cleveland's going to go in there tonight, allegedly, and whack them. I'm not buying it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm not buying it either. The Thunder are in Philadelphia tonight against the Sixers. Thunder on the road laying 12.5. 217.5 is the total. I actually don't see Embiid on the injury report, so maybe he's actually going to play. It does say that Maxey and George are game time decisions, though.
I just think it's too much meat on the bone, to be honest with you. I don't think the Thunder are going into the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia and whacking the Sixers. Now, 12.5. I'm going to ride the 12.5. Last night, we tried to play that game. We even warned you. We're like, it's a lot of meat on the bone for the T-Wolves in D.C. against the lowly Wizards. They have 6 wins, but it's 14.5. It's an NBA team with Jordan Poole. I don't care. And they covered. So, same thing here. I just think, if he plays, that certainly changes things. If Maxey and George don't play, they're going to get whacked. But I'm still going to take the 12.5. Every time I try to go with some team that's great, that's laying a big piece in the NBA, they don't cover.
Can't have it. Just cannot have it whatsoever. The Suns are in Atlanta against the Hawks tonight. Suns minus 2.5, 235.5 the total. I know that Trae Young's game time, he is dealing with some sickness, I believe. So we'll have to see if Trae Young's playing.
I like the Hawks at home, to be honest. The Suns have won 3 in a row, but they suck. They really do. They're 500. They got all these star players, and yet they're 500. Give me the Hawks at home. I don't care if he plays or not. I really don't. No one
Pelicans are in.
No one ever plays in the NBA anymore. I don't give a rat's ass who plays.
Nobody plays. The Pelicans are in Chicago against the Bulls this evening. Bulls minus 1.5, 241.5. Very big total.
Zach LaVine's been putting up outrageous numbers. Lonzo's starting now. You got Voos. You're playing the Pelicans, and you can't beat them by 2? Honestly, you might as well fold up shop. Give me the Bulls on the west side.
The Sacramento Kings, of course, have been scorching hot as they show up in Milwaukee tonight, where they will face the Bucks. Giannis is listed as a game time. Bucks minus 1.5.
Oh, my God. This league is so... You wonder why I like college basketball and not the NBA anymore. The NBA
it's frustrating.
Is such a joke. No one ever plays. And then the rest of them get suspended.
Like, it's even frustrating, like, here. I mean, we're not even doing the morning here. I mean, this is a couple hours before
How do you bet on it?
And we got to wait till the official lineups come out. I guess Kings. It's 45 minutes before, right around there. Give me the Kings in Milwaukee tonight. Let's go. Denver is in Dallas against the Mavs this evening. Kyrie game time. We know that he's been out for a little bit. Same thing with the Joker. Right now, minus 4.5 for Denver, which tells me the Joker's playing. 234.5 the total.
Yeah, they've been too hot for me to stop that train. 7 of 10. They're playing well. I gotta take them. I do. If Luka and Kyrie were playing, I think it'd be a different story. They're not. You're dealing with what? Spencer Dinwiddie? I don't think he's bad, but it's a very dangerous bet on TNT with 4.5. I think that, frankly, I think Dallas can cover the number, but I'm going to go with Denver the way they've been playing.
And finally, the Nets are in Portland against the Blazers. Minus 4.5 for Portland, 218.5 the total. Both teams suck.
I'll take the Blazers at the motor for no reason whatsoever.
I mean, the Nets have lost 5 in a row. They're really, they lost a close one in Utah the other night. They'll probably let go of the rope tonight. I take the Blazers also.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler wants to leave because Jimmy Butler knows that Riles isn't going to pay him, and he wants to get paid. Simply put, if they would have given Jimmy Butler this contract extension in the summer when he asked, this wouldn't be happening. But Riles did it, and Riles wanted him to play. So now he's disgruntled because he wants out.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I got to tell you, this next story is somewhat interesting to me based on, I believe, the future of this kid, because his brothers both have had, numerous injuries. I think, obviously, LaMelo, to me, is a better player. Lonzo has had multiple knee surgeries. But how about LiAngelo Ball and what's happening with him? Because, this guy, if he's smart, he can make music for a long time. And starting with the deal that he just got this week, he's rich because his basketball career is nothing.
Right. The middle Ball brother, LiAngelo, hasn't had the same success on the court as his older and his younger brother. He's banged around, played for the Jalisco Astros in the Mexican League last year. But he's not going to have to do that anymore, it sounds like. He's now a music star. Signed to deal with Def Jam and Universal Music Group worth $13 million. Gives him ownership of his music. Somebody was telling me, I guess he's got some song that is blown up or something. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So, music for the middle Ball brother. He's not going to be hooping anymore, it sounds like.
There is a massive reality here that he could make a killer living in music. There is no denying music. Rap, country, the one that really has hit a wall is rock and roll. Country music and rap music, they're all filthy rich. Rock music, people talk about rock music. You can still listen to it, but is anyone really making any money on it? I know Metallica does, but who else? Honestly, the only bands that matter are old bands people go to see, and they all suck.
That seems to be the case now, unfortunately, with rock music. That's kind of where we're at.
Let's face it.
I'm not thrilled about it, but that's kind of just the way of the world at this point.
He's not thrilled about it.
Yeah, it sucks, but what can I do? Let's go to college rack now, because we have a very big night of college rack. A hell of a lot better than last night. I guess that's going to be a long flight home for Mick Cronin after losing to both Rutgers and Maryland over the weekend. So
he's about to get fired.
He's not having a good time. 75-68, they lose. Maryland didn't cover against Minnesota, 77-71. The Irish did cover, et cetera, et cetera. We do have a full slate tonight that we have to get to. Let's start with the early games. Big East, Nova and Xavier tip off just under an hour from now, actually. Right. Minus 2.5. I got it up to minus 3.5 now for Xavier. Mississippi State visiting number 1 Auburn. Auburn laying the wood there. Ole Miss visiting Alabama. Big number for Bama in that one. Marquette and DePaul tonight. Texas A&M and Kentucky. Another good one. Minus 6.5 for the Wildcats right now. All those SEC games, Scotty, 7 o'clock East tips. If you love SEC hoops, what an early slate you have here on a Tuesday evening.
Yeah, no Broom for Auburn. How about a cover for Mississippi State at the Neville without Broom? Make it a game and, lose by a few, but not 8.5. I like that number. I like Villanova at the Cintas in the Queen City. I like Alabama at home over Ole Miss. It's a giant number, but I actually, you know what? That's real dangerous, 11.5 in a conference game. But it's at Tuscaloosa. I'll take them. Marquette will win in Chicago against DePaul. I like Kentucky at home at Rupp over A&M.
Next set that we have for you, you were talking about Big Ten teams going on the road. That is what Illinois has to do tonight at Assembly Hall against the Hoosiers. -5.5 is where we have the Fighting Illini right now for that. Villanova visiting Syracuse. We have at the Garden tonight, Georgetown and St. John's at the Garden, -9.5 for the Johnnies. Big number. Providence out to the cornfield to see Creighton this evening, -9.5. And Miami heads to Cameron Indoor, where, how about this number, Scotty? 24.5 for Duke tonight against Miami at Cameron Indoor. That's a lot of wood, 24.5.
Will Duke take Miami lightly because of their record? Probably. Are you willing to take 24 and a hook with the Canes with their 4 wins or whatever it is? They're pathetic.
I'm going to have to say
24 and a half. You got to take the points. You got to.
Like you look at some of these games they've been losing lately, and albeit none of these teams are as good as Duke. But like 10-point loss, 10-point loss, 11-point loss, 10-point loss.
Let's take Miami.
You want to take Miami 20?
Yeah.
Tonight? All right, let's take Miami.
All right, so I like Providence and the points at Omaha against Creighton. I like St. John's. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I still like Louisville. But I'm going to take Houston to 7.5 at the Dome. And then I want Indiana to win, obviously, but I'm going to go Illinois. I think Illinois will beat Indiana at Assembly Hall tonight.
Give me the Hoosiers tonight at home against Illinois. Let's go. Next, Missouri visiting number 5 Florida. Florida, 15-1 so far this year as they're laying a big number against the Tigers. Ohio State visits Wisconsin tonight. Oklahoma State and BYU in the Big 12. We have Clemson at Georgia Tech tonight. And Arkansas, remember we played that clip of Cal yesterday saying that we got to get things going. They're laying 1.5 in Baton Rouge against LSU.
All right, first of all, I like Missouri and the number in Gainesville. It's too big. They're a really good team, and they're going to give them a game. I like Wisconsin at home over the Buckeyes at the Cole. I just saw BYU get their ass beat at home, so God almighty. I mean, Oklahoma State is – I'll take the 13 and a hook. And then Clemson – is taking on Georgia Tech. Clemson's going to win that game in Atlanta. And just for shacks and giggles, I'll take Arkansas and Baton Rouge.
And finally, everybody loves the late-night games on the schedule. Let's see what we got. Wyoming visiting Boise tonight. You were talking about this game earlier. Iowa heading west, late tip, 10:30 East at USC, -2.5 for the Trojans right now. Baylor visiting Arizona, an 11 o'clock East tip. If you love late-night hoops, tonight's your night. UCF at Arizona State, an 11 o'clock East tip. And Colorado State visiting San Diego State tonight. Aztecs -7.5.
Yeah, I kind of like the Rams and 7.5 at Viejas against the Aztecs. I like Arizona State at home. I like Arizona in Tucson at the McHale Center. I like USC at home in Lipstick City. And I like Wyoming in 13.5 in Boise. They're as good as Boise, and that's just going to be a better game than anybody thinks it is.
That is going to be a better game than anybody thinks it is. So there you go. Those are the games that matter. There's several hundred other games tonight. I'm sure you might be in on some of them, but there's plenty of other games.
I'm in on Nevada against Air Force. Air Force is awful. I like Texas Tech at Kansas State. I really do.
Okay.
And I like Rice at home against Texas San Antonio. I like Northern Iowa at home against Evansville. I like Valpo and 7, the Beacons at Belmont. Can I get some love there? I like, how about St. Louis and a 10 spot in Richmond against VCU? I mean, and every MAC team's playing tonight. Literally every team in the MAC is playing tonight. This is the best night of college basketball since that December 4th night when every great team in the country played on the same night.
I can't believe they changed the mascot at Valpo. I still just don't understand
Who offended
what is
someone
happening.
with Crusaders? What is that?
It's just, I don't know, but that's a
they're
bad
Jesuit
job.
school. They got all nervous when people started accusing them of, having a raunchy nickname.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler wants to leave because Jimmy Butler knows that Riles isn't going to pay him, and he wants to get paid. Simply put, if they would have given Jimmy Butler this contract extension in the summer when he asked, this wouldn't be happening. But Riles did it, and Riles wanted him to play. So now he's disgruntled because he wants out.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Well, last night was rough, except in hockey, where Carver High and I cashed all 3 games in the NHL. Everything else was a total failure and a bust, and it was torture, except for Notre Dame and Elon. And then we brought it all home in the National Hockey League. As we know, Carver High and I, Mafia, all huge hockey fans.
Well, the good thing for you was you took the 1.5 with the Kings. I, of course, was greedy and took the Kings on the money line. So that was I had the Kings to win. So I was greedy with them in Edmonton. That was a hell of a game. 1-0.
Great game.
Was the final there. The Flyers did beat the Panthers as you predicted yesterday, and the Flames beat the Blackhawks 5-2 because the Blackhawks they suck. There's just really not any other way that you could sugarcoat it at this point. Now, there is a ton of games in hockey tonight. I mean, it is just super thick. We'll start in Boston, where the Lightning and the Bruins get together. If you remember, they played last week in Tampa, Scotty, on Thursday, almost a week ago, and the Lightning won that game 4-1. Tonight, minus 145 for the Lightning now. 128 this morning, 145 now. Plus $1.25 for the Bruins and a 5.5.
Can we go rogue tonight with the Bruins at the Garden? That they get it done against the Lightning? I'm going to do it.
I kind of was feeling the same way. You're getting the Bruins as a dog at home tonight. I just played him a week ago. I know Tampa's been playing better hockey, but Boston's got to kind of crawl themselves out of this thing a little bit at this point. So I'm going to go with you on that. Dallas is in Toronto against the Stars this evening. The Stars, of course, have been outstanding. They are laying minus 125 on the road. Another road favorite here. Plus 104 for the Leafs at home with a 5.5.
I'll take the Leafs at Rogers, Scotiabank, whatever they call it. I don't even know the name of it anymore. I think it's Scotiabank, right? Give me the Leafs at home in T-Town.
Wow, home dog out of the gate for you this evening with the Bruins and the Leafs to get us cooking on the ice. Next, the Red Wings, 7 straight wins, looking for 8 tonight at home against the Sharks. That is their longest winning streak since 2012. They are now just 2 points out of the wild card, and since they brought in Todd McClellan, they are 7-1. They lost their first game with McClellan, and now they've won their last 7, minus 188 tonight against San Jose. The Sharks are plus $1.55 and another 5.5.
It's too much, Wood, so give me the Red Wings on the puck line. Lay the goal and a half at plus 135.
It is hockey night in Pittsburgh at the PPG for the Pittsburgh Penguins. What a long homestand this is for the Penguins as they have the Kraken in tonight. Penguins minus $1.30. I'm seeing them at now. Plus 110 for the Kraken and a 6.5 for the total.
I like the Penguins. The Kraken stink as bad as the Penguins, so they typically at home can handle this kind of pressure. It's when they play good teams that they lose.
That is usually the case, unfortunately, like this past weekend. But they will try to get this done at home tonight against Seattle. The Ducks are also on the East Coast as they are in D.C. against the Capitals. Capitals, of course, first in the Metro, minus 275. Heavy lumber with them tonight. Plus 220 for the quack, and a 5.5.
How about Washington on the puck line, minus a goal and a half, at only minus $1.05? Does that scare you that it's that price that it won't happen?
I mean, the Ducks have been kind of spunky. You know, they won in overtime in Carolina the other night. They've been pretty decent lately.
So give me the Ducks at a goal and a half at minus 115. We'll take a shot with the Ducks tonight.
Take a shot with the Ducks. The Flyers are in Columbus against the Blue Jackets tonight. Remember, the Blue Jackets, Scotty, at home this year, 14-5-3 at Nationwide. They have been outstanding on their home rink. But how about this? Flyers are a slight favorite tonight, minus 118, minus 102 for the Jackets, and a 6.5.
Give me the Sports Jackets.
The Sports Jackets tonight. Let's go. Next, Ottawa is at the horse track as the Islanders come home after a road trip. And how about this? The Islanders minus $1.20. I'm seeing the Islanders up there now. Even money for the Senators and a 5.5 out at the horse track.
God, I want to take the Islanders. I just can't. Give me the Senators at plus $1.05. I'm seeing it right now. I'll take that. Those prices aren't right. Those prices.
Those are from
favored. The Islanders are favored in this game, minus $1.25.
Right. This has swung, obviously, earlier today. Opened with Ottawa as a slight favorite. Now the Islanders are the favorite in this one. Next, Florida, who lost in Philly last night. Tonight they're at the Rock, so back-to-back nights for the Panthers. Devils, of course, favored minus $1.56, plus 130 for the Panthers, and a 5.5.
I mean, I got it as high as $1.43 with the Panthers. I like the Devils a lot, but tonight I'm going to take the Panthers at that price. You're going to give me the Stanley Cup champs at that price, even higher at $1.43. I'll take them.
And they lost last night, so them losing 2 nights in a row, usually not the case for a team that good. Calgary, who also played last night, they won in Chicago. Tonight they're in St. Louis against the Blues. Blues laying the lumber here. This is up to minus 175 now. Flames plus $1.50 and a 5.5.
They're laying the lumber. God, it's just so outrageous, the price. Give me the over. I don't care about anything else. I'm not paying that price. And then I'm not paying the price either because I think the Blues are going to win the game, but I don't I'm not paying $1.75 for a goal and a half. No thanks. Give me the over.
Not with the Blues. 500 team you don't want to do that with. Vegas is in Nashville against the Predators tonight. Vegas also a road favorite. minus 137, plus $1.14 for the Preds,
Take Vegas.
and a 5.5.
The Predators suck.
Yeah. Predators are awful. They've been bad. All right, I got 3 more, and we'll do them in leftovers along with a few other things for this evening, including the Rangers in Colorado. So we'll do those 3 games when we come back
these last
after
3 games are kick ass. Even Montreal, Utah, I'd be into that. If I was in Salt Lake, I'd go to that game.
Good.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler wants to leave because Jimmy Butler knows that Riles isn't going to pay him, and he wants to get paid. Simply put, if they would have given Jimmy Butler this contract extension in the summer when he asked, this wouldn't be happening. But Riles did it, and Riles wanted him to play. So now he's disgruntled because he wants out.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Exorbitant amount of food today, Carver High. I had a sandwich, Pringles, then I had a bacon egg on an everything later in the day before the show, and now I'm going to have a huge dinner. But I still love leftovers.
Yep, you still do. The Canucks are in Winnipeg tonight against the Jets for Illapeg in the Great White North. Jets minus 175. This is stretched out to Canucks plus $1.50 and the 5.5.
Wow. How about the rogue play again here with the Canucks on the road in Ferrallapeg at that price of $1.40? I'm not laying $1.65. I'm not laying a goal and a half at $1.60. Not gonna do it. I'm gonna go Canucks. Can we get a little Canuck love tonight?
We can do that. Colorado has the Rangers in town this evening, where they are favored over them, minus 145. It's down to Rangers plus $1.25, 6.5.
Can we get some love on the Rangers tonight at the Ball Arena in the Mile High City? Can we continue to think that these great teams at home are going to fail? That's what I want. Can I get Mafia's blue shirts on the streets of Rado at $1.25?
No, you can't get that. And the Canadians are in Utah in Salt Lake, minus $1.50 for Utah at home, plus 130 for Montreal. and a 5.5.
It cannot be the Utah Hockey Club in Salt Lake Shakers. It's got to be the Habitants. After today, Morency saying the 24 Stanley Cups do not matter. I will
They don't
take
matter.
the Canadians on the road. They don't matter. Neither do those 27 Yankee World Championships. They just don't matter. They never talk about those 27 titles in New York City.
All the time. We'll do more. Of course, we still have some days to go before Ohio State and Notre Dame, so we'll do some more of that tomorrow. We do have golf tonight. TGL, after the big debut last week, tonight we get Tiger and his Jupiter Golf Club. Tiger Woods, who's with Max Homa and Kevin Kister, they are taking on.
Getting injured, Mike.
Well, that's the thing. LA has Morikawa, Justin Rose, and Tagala. All he's got to do is walk from where he hits the screen to over on that green. That's all he's got to walk tonight.
That's all we're
asking. He's a dog. Plus 125 for Jupiter and Tiger tonight. I'm going to take the upset tonight. I'm going to back Tiger here in Jupiter because this thing's fixed for Tiger. He created it. He's going to get the best shots off of the screen. I can just see where it's all going right now. Jupiter in an upset tonight.
You know who's going to be at that golf tournament tonight in an hour is Waldo.
He lives at that thing. I saw him there last week. John Rahm plans on playing for Europe in the Ryder Cup at Bethpage despite looming sanctions. The guy has like several $100 million. He'll be fine.
He's going to Bethpage to the Ryder Cup, and he will see John Rahm, the Spaniard, doing his thing.
55-year-old Texas man was arrested on felony stalking charges in Indianapolis after he sent threats and sexually violent messages to Caitlin Clark via social media. What a moron this guy is.
There is nothing equal to fame. She is famous. She will be stalked and harassed her entire career because she's famous.
And finally, from me, this guy, we mentioned him earlier, he's having a bad day. The internet helped find that moron Eagle fan who was repeatedly calling that female Packer fan a very, very bad word at the link on Sunday. He is now banned for life, finished, chopped. He's having a bad day, guy down in Philadelphia.
How much booze do you have to have in you to, like, scream at a chick all day that you don't know that she's a C because she's wearing a Packers jacket? You have got to be the biggest tool on earth. Now look at you, banned for life, and I'll guarantee he gets fired from his job for embarrassing the company out in public. Ferrall finish. Former Oriole pitcher Brian Matus, is that his name, Matsus? He died of a drug overdose, they said, is the final determination in his hotel room. They found him with foil, a pip, the whole deal, blazing it. Diddy accused of raping a woman with a TV remote control in a new Peacock documentary. How'd you like to have that on your resume? That you raped a chick with a remote control. GTD is next. Go to my app. Just search Ferrall. You're going to love it. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern.
It's going to be copy-paste. Books are not good. Win total's a tick too low. Knock it right over. Make playoff price tick too juicy. Bang it out. Postseason comes around on a tee. Knock their heads off.
I don't think the Steelers organization just makes a move to make a move. They have to have, it's like being in the book. You have to know what you're going to move the line to.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.